Growing food without modern utilities frequently feels like a relentless battle against wild nature. Yet true survival never requires expensive tools or endless frustration. If you want 15 smart and free gardening hacks from Grandma to get more food with less effort, you simply need to let the garden do its own work. You spend hours hacking away at hard dirt, only to dig up a few sad potatoes. Most people do this wrong by planting them flat in the ground. My grandmother never dug the soil, completely avoiding a sore back while doubling her yield. Place a clean, old tire flat on the ground, line it with straw, and pour in loose soil with sprouts on top. As the plant gets taller, stack another tire and fill the soil around the stems. On harvest days, simply lift the tires away like peeling a cake, and spotless potatoes will roll right out. You wake up excited to check your cabbages, only to find they have been chewed to pieces overnight. Before you waste money on chemical poisons, check your kitchen shelf for a much better, completely free solution. Crush a few withered garlic cloves until the pungent juice flows, soak them in hot water overnight, and strain the liquid the next morning. Mix in a tiny drop of organic soap and spray it purely at sunset to avoid burning the leaves. This creates an invisible scent barrier that makes bugs forget how to eat, while keeping friendly bees totally safe. Slugs are the slimy villains, sneaking out in the dark to ruin your precious sprouts. You do not need to walk around at midnight with a flashlight to hunt them down like a hot-tempered farmer. Lay a flat piece of old plywood or cardboard next to your vegetable beds in the evening. Slugs desperately need damp, dark shelter from the sun, so they will hide underneath it. Early the next morning, just flip the board over and easily scoop up all the sleeping pests. You finally move your beautiful indoor seedlings outside, and they instantly flop over and refuse to grow. That is root shock, caused by ripping plants out of cheap plastic trays, which severely stunts them for a week. Wrap a strip of old newspaper around a glass jar, fold the bottom inward, and slip the jar out. Plant your seeds inside, and when they are ready, bury the entire paper pot directly into the garden soil. The roots keep growing through the naturally rotting paper without ever knowing they moved, skipping the painful recovery phase entirely. Standing with the hose every single night while mosquitoes bite your ankles is totally miserable. Stop forcing your plants to chase surface water through complex piping systems and put it right at their feet. Bury an unglazed terracotta pot deep in the dirt, leaving just the mouth exposed, and fill it with water. Place a flat stone on top so the water cannot evaporate and mosquitoes cannot lay eggs inside. The clay slowly sweats moisture straight to the roots, saving your water bill and preventing moldy leaves. Watching a surprise late frost turn your proud green lettuce into black mush is absolutely heartbreaking. You can easily beat the freezing weather long before your neighbors even start planting their empty beds. Build a low frame using scrap garage wood and lay an old, discarded window frame right on top. This passive cold frame traps the sun's warm rays inside during freezing winter days. Just crack the glass lid open slightly when the sun gets too hot, or you will accidentally boil your vegetables. Chemical sprays cost a massive fortune, and they always make you nervous about actually eating your own tomatoes. My grumpy neighbor laughed when Grandma handed him a faded tin box of powder, but he never bought poison again. Sprinkle a fine layer of diatomaceous earth, which is cheap fossilized algae, directly onto your plant leaves. To ants and beetles, this acts like microscopic sharp glass that instantly cuts through their waxy shells. They quickly dehydrate and die within a few days, safely solving your pest problem forever. We constantly buy fancy, expensive liquid fertilizers in plastic bottles while foolishly throwing away the real magic. Plants get sick and exhausted just like people, and sometimes they desperately need a hot cup of tea to recover. Save your dry onion skins, pour boiling water over them, and let them steep overnight until the water turns dark yellow. Strain the liquid, mix it with water at a 1:2 ratio, and pour it right at the base of the plant. This powerful antioxidant drink triggers the plant's natural immune system to fight off fungus, but discard any leftovers after 24 hours. Before we jump into the next life-saving garden hack, Grandma and I would kindly like to ask you to subscribe to our channel. It helps our channel grow, and it guarantees you won't miss any of our forgotten survival secrets. Alright, let's get back to the soil. The fierce summer sun bakes bare dirt until it cracks like a dry, starving desert. Leaving your topsoil completely naked and tortured by the sun is a very quick way to commit garden suicide. Spread a thick 5 to 10 centimeter blanket of dry straw or decayed leaves entirely over the bare dirt. Pull the mulch about 5 centimeters away from the actual plant stem to stop dangerous root rot and mice. This fast trick physically blocks the sun, keeping the dirt cool and cutting water evaporation down by a massive 70%. Instead of buying expensive, toxic insect sprays, you really should look up at the trees. You can naturally recruit an unpaid army of the best, most efficient bug hunters in the entire world. Place a shallow tray of water, plant berry bushes, and scatter breadcrumbs to attract sparrows and wrens. Cease pesticide use entirely to prevent toxic accumulation in the bugs, which would otherwise harm your new bird friends. Sweeping all that annoying gray ash out of your winter fireplace and straight into the trash is a tragic mistake. That dusty gray powder is basically pure, concentrated garden gold that old farmers used to revive depleted lands. Sprinkle a thin layer of wood ash around your root vegetables to enhance sturdiness and sweetness while naturally deterring slugs. Avoid using it on acid-loving plants like blueberries, and do not apply it in thick piles to prevent severe root burn. Ripping up endless weeds on your hands and knees ruins your weekend and destroys the vital earthworm's home. You can peacefully murder an entire field of weeds without touching a heavy shovel or shedding a drop of sweat. Lay brown cardboard directly over the weeds, soak it with water, and cover it with compost. This completely blocks the sunlight, killing the weeds in just 2 weeks without tilling. Simply remove any shiny tape first and allow the cardboard to decompose naturally into rich worm food. Do you wonder why your vegetables seem a little weaker and much smaller every single year? Most beginners casually save seeds from the sad, bug-eaten tomatoes they forgot to eat, basically breeding for failure. Instead, strictly retain seeds from your strongest, most drought-resistant plants. Allow the ideal vegetable to fully overripen, soaking up the mother plant's essence, to develop a purebred heirloom line perfectly tailored for your backyard. A sudden, violent windstorm can easily snap your fragile bean plants in half and flatten weeks of hard work. Do not bother buying expensive plastic wind barriers or artificial trellises when nature provides them for free. Plant tall sunflowers on the southern or western edge of your garden beds for natural wind protection, and use them as a living trellis for cucumbers. The bright flowers attract bees for pollination, but maintain a safe distance from heavy feeding vegetables to prevent root competition. You enthusiastically open your seed drawer in the spring, only to find a sad, fuzzy, ruined disaster. Casually sealing fresh seeds inside tight plastic baggies is the fastest possible way to suffocate and rot them. Dry harvest your seeds in the shade, place them safely in labeled paper envelopes, and store them in a cool, dark, dry location, like an old tin box. This ensures strong, vigorous germination for your upcoming harvests. Your garden is waiting. It never needs your money, just your patience. Using what others call trash lets you shake hands with history. Which of these old gardening survival hacks will you try out first? Tell us below in the comments, like this video, and make sure to subscribe.